Okay, so here we are live once again. It is my birthday now, officially here in the United States. I've already gotten a lot of birthday wishes from friends in Australia because it's, a day ahead over there. So they got my birthday early, but I'm still in the United States. So it wasn't technically my birthday yet here, but was my birthday there. Even though I'm not there, I was here, but that's a whole nother thing that has to do with time and date and everything. And I'm trying to keep my voice low because I'm at my mother's house. If you recognize this decor, you remember last time I was at my mother's house and I did a video, and I'm over here visiting and trying to help her out with some things, and not stuff I'm going to get into right now. But uh, since it is my birthday, I did want to open up this guy. Yeah. Masters of the Universe, New Eternia. There we go. Nice painting of Evil Lyn, Panther, and over here a couple of my favorite evil warriors with Beastman and Merman. And this is Skeletor with the Havok throne. And you see, it requires batteries. So this time I actually have some batteries to put in here. Usually I don't fool with the batteries too much when I open these up. But since this is something special, and this is my birthday stream, and this is my birthday present to myself, this is a fancy, expensive toy. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the batteries in it. So let's go ahead and get everything out of this box. I already unsealed it earlier. By the way, here is the mailer that it comes in, so you can see that. But I went ahead and took it out of the mailer. I wanted to have a look at some of the insides. And here is Skeletor himself. And this is mostly a repaint of the original new Eternia Skeletor, the Barbarian Skeletor, as he's called, the one with the helmet and the goatee. Yeah, so there's been a few new Eternia Skeletors since then, like the battle armor version. Hey, thanks, Zazzle. Zazzle is one of my friends in Australia who already wished me a happy birthday because it was already my birthday over here. So I kind of get two birthdays because of all my Australian friends. So that's nice. So, but yeah, this is a really nice box. Got the bat logo on there with the snake, and it says, "From deep within Snake Mountain, Skeletor rules from the Bone Throne, an ancient artifact created by the original inhabitants of Snake Mountain from the poisoned bones of wyverns. The Bone Throne now serves as a conduit for Skeletor's Havok magic to seek out and capture the power of Grayskull." So there's what the back of that looks like. So inside are two more packages. Got a lot of fancy packages in here, and this looks almost like a standard Masters Universe New Eternia packaging, but it does not have as much in terms of it doesn't have a bio, it doesn't have the name of the figure itself. It just says Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia. Got a lovely piece of artwork on the back with Skeletor on the Bone Throne, the Havok Throne. It's the same piece that's on the back here. So we've already seen this. And then over here we got a portrait of Skeletor looking very much like the Alfredo Alcala artwork that we know I'm a fan of. He's holding the Staff of Ka, which he comes with, and we're going to talk more about that, of course, when I get it out. And you can see he's got the hood off in this picture, and it looks very creepy. And this Skeletor, like I said, is mostly a repaint of the first new Eternia Skeletor with some gold accents, and it's got a new head. Yeah, thank you. Zazzle says dynamic reading. Well, I aim to please as far as that goes. So over here we got some creatures crawling around, and that's basically what that looks like. It's blank on the bottom. Since this isn't a something that's going to be sold at like retail toy stores, Walmart, things like that, I guess they don't have to put as much on there in terms of the indicia and things like that. And then we got another nice box here. Got the bat logo on there, Skeletor in that classic Masters Universe font. This skull that we recognize, of course, from the Havok throne on the cartoon. Creepy looking face embedded in the wall, all kinds of red vines crawling around on this. Yeah, Zazzle says you don't see the hood off too often. Yeah, I think the first time I ever saw Hey, Aunt June. Aunt June's here for my birthday, so that's nice. She wished me a happy birthday via text earlier, so I've already heard from her on my birthday. But it's always nice to hear from my Aunt June again. So, yeah, there's a bottom's kind of plain, but it's got cool details around the side. So, anyway, oh yeah, the first time I ever saw Skeletor without the hood was in the book and record set that came with the Talon Fighter. There's one panel where you see Skeletor after he gets knocked off the castle with the hood down. So and then he had the hood off in the live action Masters of the Universe movie in the post credit scene before Marvel Comics ever came along. Now I did go ahead and pull out the instructions so I could have a look at that. And like I said, we're gonna put these batteries in here. So let's go ahead and do the Havoc Throne first. So it's got lots of this tissue paper kind of wrapped around certain things. And here's the main portion of the throne with the seat and everything. You see there's hip bones there. I'll be back. Yes, indeed, Zazzle. And got a little ball joint here. I guess that's where the skull's gonna go, and you get all that put together. So let's set that aside for the moment. And then there's the skull itself, which is rather large and imposing looking. It's got this little loop at the top here. It's got two large horns on the side and two smaller horns at the top. And it's got looks like it's molded in kind of an off-white, bone white, obviously, kind of plastic with a little bit of brown wash over it. There's a little bit less brown wash, but a little bit still on the seat of throne here. Here's a bag with some stuff in it. Here's another bag with some stuff in it. Let's set those aside. And then we've got this furry piece that's going to be the cushion for the seat. It does look a little bit like movie Skeletor in terms of the coloring, I think. And it looks like there's a couple of tabs over here on the side, so that should hook onto something. And then more of the back part, I believe. And then here's the base. This is a very cool thing. Another bag of accessories. We're going to set that aside. There's the staff Ka, which looks a little creepier and more bone-like than we've seen this staff previously. Perhaps Skeletor's evil magic has corrupted the staff of Ka. And then we got another piece here at the bottom. And much like Vicron, it looks like that's a little bit of a backing display, and it's got some tabs on it. I'm gonna guess this is gonna hook into the box, so it's gonna make like a whole cool display. So let's go ahead and set that aside for now, and we're gonna work on our throne, the base of our throne here. All right, so here we go. We see that we have there's the battery panel is, and I already borrowed from my mother a screwdriver so I can get this thing open. And she was concerned that it might be too big or too small or whatever, and she made sure to know that there's extra screwdriver heads in the screwdriver. But I'm like, ah, that one should be fine, Mom. It should be fine. So let's go ahead and get that off. There we go. And we got room for three AAA batteries, which again my mother kindly provided me with. I had to go out and do some things today. I wanted to make sure I got my tag renewed on my truck because I hadn't gotten around to doing that yet. And next day was going to be my birthday. How great are moms? I can't tell you how great my mom is. Like she's just the absolute best. And I know everybody thinks their mom is the best, and they're right for them. And my mom's the best mom for me. So my Aunt June's a pretty damn good mom. You can just ask my cousin Miranda, who is a great mom herself. So it runs in my family. My grandmother was a great mom on my mom's side. My grandmother was a great mom on my dad's side. My stepdad's mother was a great mother. Lots of great mothers. All right, so now we got the batteries in there. There we go. Let's go ahead and put the battery cover back on and get that screwed in. And we're gonna have some cool stuff with this. Like I said, I don't normally bother with if I got something that's battery powered. I don't want to leave batteries and stuff is one thing because of it can once the batteries go dead, they can start to leak. And how old are you? 21, 22? Oh, God bless you, sir. So so yeah, let's see. It looks like there's some metal bits there, but I don't think they actually connect to anything. It looks like the throne is just going to lock on there. There's a couple of skulls at the base of the arms of the throne, and you got these kind of looks like bone antennae. Although I don't think any kind of skeletal creature has antennae. Those are usually like exoskeletal creatures, but it's Eternia, and there's all kinds of weird creatures there, aren't they? So let's go ahead and clip this in. It looks like it should just lock into place there. 'Cause there's a clip here on the back. You can see that. And that looks like it's one that's supposed to lock in quite permanently. And then two tabs over here on either side. So it looks like both of those clip into these little notches, two little slots, and that should all fit together very nicely. And there, I felt it click in that time. So there's that. We can go ahead and put our skull on there. And it looks like this is the same size ball joint that's actually on the figures. So you can probably put this on figures too, but we'll have a look at that in a little bit. So there's that attached on there. And how do we attach this one on there? It's like there's a couple of slots here and a peg, and looks like the horns face up according to the directions. A lot of really cool details to this. When we get into that. So is yep. There's a look at those instructions. So far I'm doing everything correctly. I skipped over the padding, the fur padding, but we can get to that in a minute. I don't think it needs to go on in any specific order. So you see, like these are kind of more tabs, and then there's a peg here. So there's a hole and two slots. It should just snap on. Bob's your uncle. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with it just because the spine itself has all these bony protrusions sticking off of it, and that does kind of make it a little difficult to press on it. There we go. I got it on anyway. I'm just pressing on these bones, and that actually made it look. So the tabs and the slots here lock in, and this one I think is just to help guide it. So that's what the throne itself looked like when it's assembled, except for the fur padding. Here we go with that. And how does that attach on? Well, it looks like there's a couple of little slots here, and they made these tabs out of like a kind of a nylon, almost like a shoelace type material, like a braided cord, not like a round cord, but like a flat cord, like I said, kind of like a shoelace. And it looks like we're just supposed to insert those into the bone throne. And I'm assuming that this part here is supposed to kind of layer over the front. So the longer part should probably face toward the front, I believe. And hopefully the way that these straps are sewn together, they should just kind of lock in themselves. And then you see once you got it in, it's not going to fall out or anything like that. I'm sure you can easily remove it yourself if you choose to do that. But that's what the bone throne itself looks like when it's put together. But there's some more stuff to add to it as far as like the atmosphere of it. So there's a couple of kind of jaw-like pieces that look like they're going to attach on there, and then some torches and lots of cool stuff. This is going to be really cool when we get all put together. It's got stands to put the Havok staff and the staff of Ka. A lot of cool stuff. So let's go ahead and move on. See what's in this bag. And again, it's all these paper envelopes. I don't really care for these things too much, but there's like looks like a part of a jaw. And there's going to be one of those for each side. It looks like, and They do seem to be symmetrical. Doesn't seem to be any kind of markings to indicate, left or right on here that I can see. So we should be able to just put one of these in each spot, and the teeth are going to kind of face towards inward towards the throne. So let's go ahead and get those assembled. And you see there's like a longer part and a shorter part. Yeah, the shorter part faces outward. And these are made out of kind of like a rubbery material, which I figure that's because they're so large and pointy that even though technically, uh, is there an age on here? This is one that's supposed to be an adult collectible. It's not necessarily supposed to be a children's toy, but they probably figure like parents are gonna if you're an adult collector, you're probably gonna let your kid play with this if you've got kids. I know I would if I had kids. So it's gonna be too fun and too awesome a toy to not to. So there we go with the jaws put in, and it just makes the whole thing look even more regal, but in that nice, sinister. It is a really nice base, isn't it, Aunt June? Aunt June says it's a nice base, and we haven't even gotten this thing all put together yet. So there's more. There's yet more to go. So let's go ahead and open up this paper envelope. All these paper envelopes. And there we have two of these rather sinister looking torches. And you can see the actual torch portion of it is it looks like it's molded in like a black plastic with some kind of gunmetal silver painted over it. Retro Tinker has joined us. Hello, Retro Tinker, and he says, "Hey, Alan, happy birthday." Well, thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. So, and then the flames themselves are sculpted out of this translucent kind of rubbery, again, so kind of a rubbery kind of material, not quite as rubbery as as these jaw pieces, but still, enough that a kid can't really poke his eye out very easily. Yeah, the throne's really cool. I remember when I first saw the Filmation cartoon of He-Man, and Snake Mountain wasn't a toy yet. Snake Mountain was we first saw it on the cartoon before it was actually made into a toy, and Skeletor's throne room, conference room with the big conference table, and his throne is at the head of it. And I just remember thinking that throne was so cool. It's kind of part of the reason why I never actually got the original Snake Mountain because compared to what it looked like on the cartoon, it didn't even have a throne. How can you make a hideout for Skeletor and not give him a throne? Dude needs his throne. So let's go ahead and get this snapped in here. And it looks like, okay, so there are a couple little tabs here. So it looks like it's going to be kind of a locking mechanism. And you can see here, there are several little tabs. I don't know if you can see that. There's several little tabs on the inside. So it looks like this is going to be something that once we push it in here, we're not going to take it out. It's in there forever. So let's go ahead and there we go. Snaps right in. And, and, and come on. Being a little stubborn here. There we go. And that's what it looks like with the torches in there. But we're still not done. So one more bag of accessories. And this should probably be the stands for the two stabs. So if you watched the Masters of the Universe Revolution cartoon, and if you haven't, you probably should. Uh, I know Revelation was kind of controversial, but I still enjoyed it. But I'm going to tell you right now, uh, Revelation I liked with a few caveats, but Revolution is just awesome. I absolutely love it. So anyway, let's go ahead and put these in here, and we can see that these are molded in kind of a gold color, but with a little bit of some green and kind of blended in. It looks really cool. This is molded in with the plastic at the base. It might be kind of dry brushing on the snakes. These are again made of kind of a rubbery material. Retro Tinker says he loved Revelation and Revolution. Well, good. I'm glad somebody else did. I've talked about it before. There were some controversies to it, and I kind of feel like some of them were justified and some of them weren't. But I still enjoyed Revelation for the most part, and I absolutely loved Revolution. Revolution, I think, is just one of the best He-Man things ever made. So especially in media. So these both snap in here, and that will be where we can place the Havok staff and the staff of Ka, which we don't actually have the Havok staff out, but we can go ahead and put the staff of Ka in here. And since these are kind of rubbery, it's kind of difficult for me to do it one-handed. So I'm gonna just set it down here on the ground, and you're just gonna take my word for it that I'm doing that. So they go in through these holes here, which you can see have little tabs that hold them in, and then there's also like a little semicircle hole that not like a hole it goes all the way into, but just kind of like where the base of the staff can kind of rest in there. So until Tila manages to capture it back anyway, so that 'cause she can use her staff, it belongs to her. But yeah, in Revolution, there's three staffs, and there's the Havoc staff that Skeletor has, and the staff of Ka, which eventually Tila gets a hold of. She gets it from Granomir. Spoiler if you haven't seen it already. And of course, the sorceress's staff is the staff of Zor. So that's all three of the staffs, and this comes with two of the three. So I guess Skeletor hasn't managed to get his hands on the sorceress's staff yet. So this is all put together now. Let's see if we can activate it. Ooh, I'm turn off the lights. Gives a little more drama. So there we go. That's what it looks like with it lit up like that. You can see it's got can you see it's got that slight flicker to it? Like it's actually flames. Isn't that awesome? Aren't you glad I actually bothered to put the batteries in? And press it again. Ooh, the color changes. Now you see why it was a translucent white and not orange or something like that, because now it's green. Oh, that looks so cool. The green might even look better than the orange. And I'll try it one more time. Blue, purple. Oh, now it's changing to all kinds of colors. So I guess it depends on the green flames are slick. Those are probably the coolest ones. And then blue, very deep, very rich blue, very Skeletor kind of blue. And purple. And then back to orange. So that's neat. I don't know how to turn it off though. Maybe you just have to let it run its course. So we'll go ahead and set that back down, turn the lights back on, because now it's time to open up the Lord of Destruction himself, Skeletor. So let me go ahead real quick. So I would have done this already if I'd thought to do it. Let me get an X-Acto knife. Uh, like mother, like son, she keeps an X-Acto knife handy. So that's who I got my first X-Acto knife from, was from my mother. Retro Tinker says, damn, I think I need to get myself one of these thrones. They are really cool. So I almost didn't buy this. I almost didn't buy this because I'm like, the Skeletor figure is pretty cool, but it's just the same Skeletor figure I already have, pretty much, isn't it? And then I saw a review Pixel Dan did on it, and it's like, okay, Pixel Dan, you convinced me I need to get this. And it did seem a little expensive, but like I said, it's like, since you've got this, this is almost like a little playset unto itself. And I thought that would be really good for like diorama type purposes, and to, take some photos with it. Be something else to pose Masters Universe figures in front of besides Castle Grayskull. And since it is like an evil headquarters, then that gives me a bespoke place to put my evil warriors. Let's go ahead and get Skeletor himself out of here. And it opens up pretty much in the typical way that Masterverse package opens, because like I said, it's pretty much a Masterverse package. It's just got less writing on it. So here we got Skeletor himself. Got a content list here. Looks like it's going to be the Havok staff and a couple of extra hands. Guessing that's going to be the extra hands, because the Havok staff ain't going to fit in there. Where's the Havok staff? Oh, it's already in the package. Duh. All right, so we're going to put the X-Acto knife. I put it over in this mug. I do not want to lose my mom's X-Acto knife. I lose my own X-Acto knife enough. We don't want to lose my moms. So let's go ahead and cut a little rubber tab holding in the Havok staff. And there's that. But we're not gonna, well, let's go ahead and put it in the base. And like I said, with the other one, it's like, since these snakes are kind of rubbery, it's a two-hand job. Oh, look what I said. All right, so let's go ahead and set that aside. And Skeletor's got like a really nice Alfredo Alcala type face. The hood seems to be kind of sitting kind of awkwardly on him, but I think we can take care of that once we get him out of the package and we can move all that around a little bit. And they did something that, of course, I really hate, which is they put tape on the cape. And I just hate that so much. It's hard for me to take the tape off without ruining the fabric, kind of stretching it out a little bit. And of course, it's going to have residue on there that's going to be on there forever. Retro Tinker says, my mate Adam made a Skeletor throne out of Halloween decorations a couple of years ago on his YouTube channel. I always meant to make one myself, but this might be an alternative solution. Well, I would like to see that. I'm gonna have to hunt that down. I love Halloween stuff, and I love Masters of the Universe, and I love customizing action figures. So that seems like something that would be right up my alley. First, let me take all this stupid tape off. Why? This is an expensive figure to ruin it with tape. I'm just saying. So I'm going to stick that to the inside of the package so I don't have random bits of tape all over the place. And let's go ahead. We're going to pop his head off and we're going to pop off the breastplate that the cape is actually attached to and kind of slide it out the back so I don't have to ruin this cape any further than it's already been ruined by the stupid tape. Get that out of there. And we can see this is very similar to the breastplate that came with the initial new Eternia Skeletor, but this time it's molded in gold plastic with purple parts painted on. So he's got a lot more gold highlights on here than we're used to Skeletor's having. It's kind of reminiscent of how he was drawn in the prototype action figure. Had some yellow bits, and he's drawn that way in the mini comic, but it is different in some key ways, which I will address later. Go ahead and cut this rubber tab. And my mother's X-Acto knife is not quite as sharp as the one I have at home since I just put a new blade in it, but it's still sharper than the old blade that I put up with for years and should have changed out much longer. So there we go. We can get. I did cut both of these, just deep within the package. So here we got Skeletor out of the package, and he does have looks like some purple airbrushing on his feet to give them a little bit of shading. So it should be throughout the rest of the figure too. We can see some on his abs and some on his shoulders. So it's just something to give him a little bit of depth. And it's a nice shade of blue, very reminiscent to me of the original toy, probably more than the actual retro figure, come to think of it. He's got the bare feet with 5 toes. Like I said, this is the same body that we'd already seen previously with the Masterverse new Eternia Skeletor, but it's a slightly different shade of blue, little less greenish than that blue was. Very kind of cool looking metallic purple on most of this, and some gold highlights, gold on his belt buckle, gold on the crossbones on his chin. The bracelet is really cool. The whole thing's cool. And then gold on the shin guards, which again very similar to how it was drawn in the mini comic. But the gold on the crossbones is way different. The crossbones were still purple in that, and it was the bat that would have been colored yellow. So I kind of feel like what they should have done with this really was have that bat painted in gold and just left that purple. But that's just my opinion. Even Skeletor's hood, which while technically fabric, it's got like that metallic purple sheen to it. And these are indeed separate pieces. You can remove the skull from the hood so we can have an unmasked Skeletor. And there he is. And you can see a lot of the cool detailing in that face. Like I said, looks a lot like the illustrations of Alfredo Alcala, my personal favorite Masters of the Universe artist from those early mini comics. And the jaw is actually a hinged piece, so we can give a little bit more expression to our guy. Let's go ahead and talk about the articulation, since I've got him in pretty much as bare of a state as I would like to get him in right now. So Skeletor can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. They move up about that far. There's not going to be too many surprises as far as articulation goes on this figure because we've already discussed the same exact body. And of course, even then, that body reuses a lot of standard Masterverse parts. Retro Tinker says, I like that the hood is removable. Yes, that's a very nice touch. And it does look a lot like the hood that came with the original figure and also has some flourishes that, again, make it look a lot like Alfredo Alcala's version of Skeletor, which I like. Okay, so bicep swivel, bicep rotates all the way around. We got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. Wrists turn all the way around, of course, and looks like they have a horizontal hinge which moves back and forth uh, horizontally. I did not open the other baggie with the extra hands in it. So let's go ahead and take a moment to do that real quick, so we can have a look at those extra hands. So we have one that's like an open sort of gesturing hand, and then we have one that is a solid fist. The open hand is for the left hand, and the solid fist is for the right. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's move back to the articulation. So he's got that kind of torso articulation that these figures typically have right underneath the rib cage, and you can move that around in lots of cool positions. And then he should rotate all the way around the waist, but that was kind of a stiff joint. I just noticed that unusually, the fur that's at the side of his loincloth, the underloin cloth, as it were, is painted in black, or it's not painted in black like usual. It's painted in purple because I guess they just wanted to save a little bit of money on some paint applications where they could, and probably figured most people probably wouldn't mind. I certainly don't mind. But he does have black, well, nice metallic purple shorts underneath, in case anybody was wondering what the upskirt looks like. That's what the upskirt looks like. All right, so Skeletor can kick up about that far, not quite as far as most of them. It seems like this loincloth is kind of hindering his movements a little bit, so not quite 90 degrees. He does have a thigh cut, so the thigh rotates all the way around. Double jointed knees, that's about the range of motion you get at the knees. He does have a boot cut, so the boot rotates all the way around. And then the ankle points down about that far, points up about that far, and rotates all the way around. And I believe that's all the articulation, isn't it? All right, so let's go ahead and put the hood back on and get him into as classic a state as we can get Skeletor. So I'm gonna pop the head back in the hood. And like I said, I kind of figured once we got the whole thing out of the package, we could get this hood placed in a much less awkward position. And again, very reminiscent of the hood on the original figure, and very reminiscent of the way Alfredo Alcala drew the hood himself. Maybe not quite as long in the back, but that's where that original action figure thing comes in. So it doesn't seem like Skeletor has a sword for this version, so I'm gonna have to 3D print one, I guess, but he does still have the slot in the back. So if you want to give him a sword, he's got a place to store it. And overall, I think he's a pretty great looking Skeletor figure. In some ways, I think he's probably superior to the retro version that we opened the other day. But they're both really impressive Skeletor figures. I kind of feel like both of them are justified being in my collection. But I really would like it if he had a power sword, and especially since he's got that Alfredo Alcala look, I would have really liked to have had an Alcala power sword. So I'm just gonna have to see what I can do about finding something to 3D print for him. I know I've got like a Masterverse scale version of the Revelation sword, but that one's not quite the same as the Alcala sword, which is what I really want. So Retro Tinker says, can't have too many Skeletors. No, you can't. I kind of feel like Skeletor is like the Batman of uh of the Masters of the Universe line. Yeah, even more than He-Man. I'll buy pretty much any version of Skeletor. So let's go ahead and have a look see at what our boy looks like in his throne, because it is Skeletor in the Havoc throne, so we got to get him in the throne. So I'm gonna get him into, as best I can, a seated position and place him in the throne like so. And there are a couple little foot pegs down here, so you can place the feet on the foot pegs, but I'm not gonna bother with that right now. But that should hold them on there a little more steadily. But yeah, there's what he looks like on the throne with the flames of flicker. Let's turn off the lights again so we can get a little more dramatic. Ooh, yeah, there he is. Looking all cool. But that's not all, is it? No, we've got some more stuff we got to talk about because, as I noticed before, we've got like a nice cardboard backdrop that looks like it's supposed to attach in the box that the Havoc Throne itself comes in, and that's going to give us a nice display for our boy. So let's go ahead. Oh yeah, here's where it says Evil Lord of Destruction. Oh yes. They got to specify that he's an evil Lord of Destruction. He's not a benevolent, not a kind Lord of Destruction. No, he's an evil Lord of Destruction. He is a demon from another dimension after all, or is he? I guess it depends on what continuity you're following. This is the Alfredo Alcala version, so I'm going to say yes. So it looks like these tabs have like a little bit of an L shape to them. So I think you're supposed to insert these in here first, and you kind of stick it in kind of horizontally and very, very gently. We will get it placed into these slots here. Oh, you can bend them in. Well, that's going to be way easier, isn't it? So let's go ahead and bend in all of those. These two over here. I didn't notice there was some scoring there. And it looks like that this bends a little bit further. I'm going to have to be really careful when I drive home with this thing, aren't I? Because I don't want it to get bent up. So, all right. So we get them bent in all the way. Then we can insert each of these one at a time. Gonna be the best way to do it. Am I putting it in there correct? I think I'm putting it in there correctly. Come on, you. Let's go. And the thicker tab here in the middle. Now we've got this one should go in the back. Like so. Come on, you. You can get in there. We can do this. Just cooperate with me. Maybe I should have done this with the lid open, and then I could have pulled it through from the other side. This is the one that's being stubborn right now. This one right here. Oh, let's go. Maybe if I bend it the other way. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. 'Cause if I do that, then it might weaken the structural integrity of it. So I'm just going to have to try to get it in here as best I can. Come on, we can do this. And then the big tab came out in the back. I gotta make sure that's still partially in there. Just be patient and not rush this because I don't want to ruin it. And since it's just cardboard, it would be pretty easy to ruin it. But what's happening is that this part actually already got kind of like bent up. This tab did. So it's not wanting to fit in exactly as well. I'm gonna try to bend this out just a little bit. So I got a little more room to work with. Come on. Just kind of coax it in there. Don't try to don't try to force it. Just try to coax it. Same with plastic. Cardboard's the same thing. But it just seems like this one's just being more difficult than the one on the corresponding tab on the other side. Not sure why. Other than it just got kind of that little bit of a lip. Maybe if I open it up, let's go ahead and open it up. Maybe that'll make it easier for me. Yeah, then it goes right in. Womp womp. All right, so then let's go ahead and while we got it still opened up, get this other tab in here, and it's just barely just getting hung up on the edge there. But there we go. I got it in. All right. So there is the entire display put together, and it sure is an impressive looking piece. It's going to make a very nice backdrop for the throne with his name at the base of it. Ah, isn't that going to be a great display piece? That's going to look awesome on my shelf. So let's go ahead and replace the throne on there and see what that looks like. And see that eventually the lights did go out on this thing. So I guess it's time to go out. But yeah, that's what the whole thing looks like when it's all put together. Isn't it a Aunt June says, I'm sorry, Retro Tinker says, that's a sweet backdrop. It sure is. Very cool how this all put together. And we gotta, now that we got it all put together, oops, go for thought. We gotta go ahead and put this put the lights back on it. I was looking to see if there was something on the bottom where you could turn it off, but it doesn't seem to be. So now that we've got the backdrop in there, we got Skeletor on his throne. Got to see it all lit up. Turn this light off again. It actually worked out pretty well because it gave me like a little bit of a darker. And there's still a lamp on the other side, but it's still. I think it looks a little more impressive that way, doesn't it? Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's see what some of the other colors. Uh, so orange, and there's the green. I think the green might look the best. That's probably gonna be how I take this picture. So yeah, impressive looking figure. The backdrop, the throne itself. Oh man, this is a beautiful piece. This is a must have. I'm really glad that I wound up watching that Pixel Dan video. And so thanks to Pixel Dan if he ever sees this for giving this such a positive review and making me realize that I had to have this as part of my collection. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So and we can put the cape back on him. And this is like the it doesn't fit on him very well. At least not I couldn't get it to stay on him very well on the barbarian Skeletor figure. So I actually used some double-sided mounting tape. I kind of stuck it on here. These tabs are supposed to kind of go over the little leather straps at his shoulders. But yeah, there he is with the cape. He's not quite wanting to go in the throne now. So I gotta move his arms out of the way. I guess those got kind of. Come on, you can stay in there. Maybe the cape's making him a little more slippery. But yeah, there he is. Pretty cool, huh? So sweet little birthday present to myself. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, we got more stuff to open coming soon. So since I opened up this nice fancy uh this uh online exclusive fancy Skeletor figure, I got more fancy online exclusive stuff to open. So our next video is gonna be set that aside for now. Oh, what do I have here? Something else I got from Big Bad Toy Store. Oh yeah, Darklyn. Speaking of Masters Universe Revelation, finally picked her up, so I'm excited to be opening that. So that's going to be our next video, and then we got more cool stuff to come. We got some Turtles of Grayskull type of stuff. I'm still not done with Masters Universe yet. It's become Masters Universe March. So Retro Tinker says I'd like to get this thrown and put a cartoon collection Skeletor on it with his big grinning skull. I don't have the cartoon collection Skeletor with me, but I do have Clawful, who actually is the same body type. So why don't real quick we go ahead and put Clawful on the throne and see how he looks in it. and see if that'll work with the. I know that the cartoon collection figures are a little taller than your standard Origins, and it looks like his thighs aren't quite long enough for him to properly sit in the throne, but his booty isn't all the way back in the seat is the problem. But he does, at least from the front, look pretty proper sitting in it. And if we can get, let's go ahead and get the foot peg on at least one of these, and he should, yeah, the foot pegs reach. So doesn't look too bad sitting on the throne. So yeah, you could probably put the cartoon collection Skeletor figure in here, and he'd look just fine. So, but yeah, this is going to be a cool backdrop for me to take some photographs of action figures with. Skeletor action figure himself, it's pretty great. Like I said, it's basically the Skeletor figure we've already gotten, but I think that the gold accents kind of add just enough to it. And of course, this is one of the best Skeletor head sculpt I've ever had on any action figure. That hinged jaw, that is something else that adds just kicks it up to the next level. It's like it turns it up to 11, what would previously be a 10. So yeah, great action figure, definitely worth picking up. But the rock star of this set is the throne. We don't get a whole lot of play sets in modern day action figures, and Masters of the Universe Origins has actually been really good about play sets, but I don't think we've gotten any kind of play set in Masterverse yet until this one. And while it might seem like kind of a small and humble play set, I do feel like it's packed in with a lot of cool features, just enough to you know make it. If this is the only playset we ever get from Masterverse, it'll definitely be a playset to be remembered. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thankfully, I've been able to keep it to a dull roar, and I don't think I woke up my parents or my sister while I've been over here visiting at their house. So thanks to them again for uh, indulging me and letting me shoot a video over here. Bye, Aunt June. It was good to see you. Thanks for stopping by and wishing me a happy birthday. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like and subscribe. All the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about uh, this figure set, figure itself, the character Skeletor, the the Havok throne, all that kind of stuff. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think in the comments. Retro Tinker says, "Great video. Happy birthday, buddy. Thanks again. Always nice to hear from you." Retro Tinker being one of the first people, actually yesterday being one of the first people to wish me a happy birthday, like I said, because he's over in Australia, so it was already my birthday yesterday. Because yesterday for him was today. It gets confusing. It's like we're time travelers. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next episode with Dark Lynn. Thanks for watching. Bye.